Today's video is going to compare the Asics Novablast 5 versus the Saucony Ride 18. So the Saucony Ride 18 has just come out. They've got the same sole that they had in the 17, the PWR Run Plus. So it's a nice up-tempo sole, so when you apply pressure to it, it's quite springy, it pushes you back out again. And as a result of having more flexibility in the forefoot as well, it has a bit more of an aggressive geometry than the previous model. In contrast to that, the Novablast 5 is completely different than the Novablast 4. So they've introduced the FF Blast Max cushioning instead of the FF Blast Eco. So this midsole is a bit softer, a bit spongier than the previous model, so it's not as aggressive. So historically, we would have said that the Novablast 4 is a bit faster of a shoe, a bit more of a performance shoe compared to the Ride. However, that's changed in these recent models. So with the FF Blast Max cushioning, as it's a bit softer, a bit spongier, you don't get that aggressiveness or propulsion that you got in the Novablast 4. So it's a little bit slower, we feel. It's a bit more of an everyday shoe as opposed to the up-tempo nature of the Ride 18. As a result of this, they've also changed the weight and the feel on top. So you've got a lighter shoe in the Novablast 5, so 255 grams in the size 9 men's US, and then in the Ride 18, it's 274 grams in the same size. It's got an 8mm drop from the back to the front of the shoe. So we've got 37mm in the rear foot. We've got 29 in the forefoot. We've got much higher stack in the Novablast 5. So you've got 41.5mm in the rear foot, 33.5 in the forefoot, giving you an 8mm drop as well. So more cushioning packed into the FF Blast Max cushioning, and it's a lighter shoe overall. Then when we think about elements of stability, so there are two classic neutral shoes. We'd say the Ride 18 is closer to a stable neutral than a classic neutral. So we've got some sidewalls on the inside of the shoe and the outside of the shoe, and we've got a broad base of support with some sole flare. All of these factors increase the contact with ground, provide more support. The sidewalls have the reduced pronation moments, have to control that inward motion when you initiate contact with the ground. The Novablast 4 was more of a stable neutral, but it's more classified as a stable shoe because of the softer cushioning underneath. So it still has these sidewalls on the heel, on the inside and on the outside of the shoe. It's got some nice sole flare on the forefoot, but because it's a little bit softer of a shoe, you sink into it a little bit more. We classify it more as a neutral only, whereas a stable neutral in the Ride 18. On top, they're different as well. You got more of a luxurious fit on top, so of the Ride 18, so it's more of a plush upper, whereas you've got more of a single engineered mesh on top of the Novablast 5. It's also a little bit narrower of a fit on the Novablast 5, whereas you've got a bit more volume, a bit more width in the Ride 18. As a result, they're both true to size, but if you've got a narrow foot, you might need the wider version of the Novablast 5, and the Ride comes in a wider version as well. The tongue is a lot thinner on the Asics, where it's more padded on the Saucony. They're both gusseted in, and you've got similar amount of padding around the heel counter and similar stiffness as well. So they can be both used for standing or walking. I'd say the Ride is a better shoe if you wanted to use it for day-to-day walking and getting it about. In terms of the runs, they've changed as well. This is an absolute workhorse of a shoe, the Novablast 5. We've done 60-70k in it, and the undersole is immaculate. There's hardly any wear in it. We think it's more of a daily shoe now for longer runs, steady runs, easy runs, recovery runs, whereas the Ride 18, more aggressive, much more of an up-tempo shoe, so it can be used for more race pace, fartlek, tempo runs. It can also be used for day-to-day runs, but it has the extra feature where it really tries to propel you forward with the aggressive forefoot rocker and flexible forefoot. So if you have any questions on either of these shoes, leave them in the comment section. I'll try and get back to you. We purchase all the shoes independently, so if you buy through the links in the description, it really helps fund the channel. Otherwise, just checking out the rest of our videos, liking and subscribing makes a big difference. Thanks for watching.